Hey, welcome. This is my first broadcast, and I'm kind of a novice at this, so bear with me. But welcome. I am Y.I.S Blaq. Y.I.S is an acronym. The Y stands for Yah. I am a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Hebrew Israelite minister as well. The Y stands for Yah. The I stands for is. And the S stands for salvation. And Black, I just like the word. And I like the way it's spelled. But I am a minister. And Yah willing, I'm going to be bringing a few ideas that I have and just sharing a few things, just to give you a brief, more of a brief, I guess, background of myself. I've been blessed to minister for over 10 years. I am also a inspirational speaker, so to speak. Because before you can be motivated, you have to be inspired to move. So I'm an inspirational speaker. I am also a poet. And now I'm blessed to be here. And what I wanted to share is, I want to open up with the book of Genesis, chapter 4. And of course, this is the introduction to, to Adam, or not to Adam, but to Cain and Abel. Now, in this here, Abel's offerings are more accepted by the Almighty than Cain's. And Cain feels a way about that. So then Cain, in his feelings, raises up against Abel and murders him. And there's a quote that I'm basing tonight's discussion off of. And you can feel free to type in, ask questions. It's in Genesis 4 and verse 9. It reads, "And Yah said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?" A question is asked, am I my brothers and sisters keeper? But here it just says brother. And we are our brothers and sisters keeper. What I want to discuss is the events that have taken place. We've had the COVID-19 virus that is still going on. We're still practicing social distancing. But we also had a brother, last name of Floyd, who was murdered by the police. Murdered. There's no other way around it. It's not manslaughter. It's murder. And here in Cincinnati, we've had protests break out. And in these protests, there's been violence. There's been a lot of destruction of property. And I do know and understand that it's not all our people. I know that. It's not all of us that triggered this. But my question is, let's just say that this officer, and it's 4 of them, and 4 of them have been convicted of murder as well. And you may say, well, why would the other 3 be convicted for murder? They didn't contribute into the death of this brother, when in actuality they did. And what happened was, what ended up happening was they didn't stop him. They stayed silent. So then they were caught up in the vicarious law, which is something where being in so-called wrong place at the wrong time, and these other officers could have easily stopped this officer from blatantly taking this man's life. However, they didn't. So we've had protests, and we've had a lot of, things going on in the sense of being frustrated. We were frustrated for one because we were kept in our homes due to this COVID-19 virus. So a lot of things were cut out communities were shut down early. And a lot of us who, didn't have a lot of resources was like, man, what is there to do? Community centers are closed. Basketball courts are shut down due to this COVID-19. And now the murder of another Black man. Lil Wayne made a statement, and I'm not going to quote it verbatim because I don't want to lie and I don't want to misquote him. But from what I got from it, as he stated, he said, when you look at something, you got to find out what really was going on. Well, let me say, in the case of this young man or this brother, who's a father as well, but in the case of this brother, from the stories that were out, it was over $20. And what I mean by that is it was over $20 being what they consider counterfeit. But come to find out, it wasn't. The money was real. But in the case of this brother and this police officer, it was blatant murder. When the brother is telling you, when the individual is telling you they can't breathe, and you persist to put pressure on the back of their neck, on their body, or anything that restricts breathing, and they're telling you, man, I can't breathe, and you continue to do so, if they lose their life at your hands, that's blatant murder. Now, I've listened to a lot of, I'm not going to lie and say I've listened to a lot of resources. There was one individual I listened to today, one brother today that I listened to. And he was on Facebook Live, and I was listening to him, and he was, very powerful. His words, his conviction was very powerful. And the thing that was so deep to me is that during this time is when we really push for the support of Black businesses. And by my brother's keeper, we are only pushing and marching for people, Black, brown people, to support Black businesses during the time of a boycott. And I'm going to be very, very, I'll let you be the judge of that. It's like when those who we call the oppressors, and we can't even put a color on oppression no more because, hell, we oppress each other. But let's just say when you have we have sucked on the breasts of those that we consider our enemies for so long that when they remove the breast, you know what happens? We become frustrated. we become flustered because we rely on the same people that we call our oppressors or enemies to take care of us. We expect them to be just. But here's the thing that we don't expect. We don't expect togetherness for each other. For example, going back to the Black business. You really hear about us pushing, supporting Black business during the time of protest or boycotting. But what about when the one that we call our enemy gives us our desires, lets us have